What is going on? Welcome to Aged and Barreled. We are deep into the holiday season. Christmas and Hanukkah are just around the corner. And if you've been into a liquor store recently, you've probably noticed some new winter-themed bottles popping up on the shelves. I've gathered 7 of these limited holiday bottles together to determine if any of these are worth picking up for the holiday season. Some of these are blended whiskeys, some of these are flavored whiskeys, technically making them whiskey liqueurs, and then some of these are flavored liqueurs spiked or fortified with whiskey. These come in a range of different prices, alcohol percentages, and flavor profiles, so no more rambling, let's introduce the competitors. First off, we have Crown Royal Salted Caramel, Jack Daniel's Winter Jack Tennessee Cider, Evan Williams Spice Cider, Evan Williams Eggnog, Misunderstood Oat Nog, Johnnie Walker White Walker, and Johnnie Walker A Song of Ice. All right, so first off, we have Crown Royal's Salted Caramel. This is a flavored whiskey liqueur. I picked this up for $28. It is a blended Canadian whiskey with obviously added caramel flavoring, 35% or 70 proof. There is a pretty cool looking recipe on the back of the box. I'm gonna put that up, so if you feel inclined, you can pick this up and give the recipe a try. All right, so let's pop this off and see what we got. Okay, so right off the bat, it smells like tons of caramel and then like salted buttery popcorn to me. Yeah, it's not bad. You get kind of that same maple syrup note that you see in a lot of other Crown Royals. Again, tons of caramel, tons of salt, and this like buttery popcorn thing that I'm noticing. Mildly impressed by this one. The next two we're gonna be doing side by side. They're both ciders. So first we have Jack Daniel's Winter Jack Tennessee Cider and Evan Williams Original Southern Spiced Cider. All right, starting with the Jack Daniel's, this was $20. It is from the Jack Daniel's Distillery located in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It is apple cider liqueur mixed with Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. So their Tennessee whiskey, they charcoal filter, supposedly mellows out the whiskey a lot, making it a smoother, more enjoyable whiskey. This one is 15% or 30 proof. Little fun fact, Jack Daniel's is the #1 selling American whiskey within the US, so I'm expecting a lot out of this one. And next we have Evan Williams Spiced Cider. This is out of the Evan Williams Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. I picked this up for $14. So this one's $6 cheaper. This is, again, apple cider liqueur, but this time it is mixed with Kentucky straight bourbon instead of the Tennessee whiskey. This one is 17% or 34 proof. And I can say I'm not a fan of their standard Evan Williams bourbon, but I'm a big fan of their Bottle and Bond and their single barrel. Those are both great. So let's pour these and see what they're like. So this one smells a lot like muted apples, very much just like the raw organic apple, and it's kind of got this like sour element to it as well. Yeah, again, it's kind of sweet, a lot of apples, and there's like this sour, bitter kind of tone in there as well. All right, moving on to the Evan Williams. Tons of spices in this. This is way more sturdy as far as flavors go. Yeah, you can smell this one a mile away, especially compared to this one. This one's kind of muted. This is very heavy on the spices and the sweet apple, more cider notes. This is more like an apple juice, and this is more like apple cider to me. Yeah, again, that comes through on the palate as well. This one is there, it's really present, and it's very sweet. There's tons of cinnamon in this. This one just feels lacking, especially in the side by side. Yeah, I wouldn't call this a cider. This is like a watered down apple juice. All right, next up we're doing another side by side tasting. This time I was pretty curious what the Evan Williams eggnog would taste like compared to the Misunderstood Oat Nog. So for the Evan Williams eggnog, this was $12. It is made with real dairy and Kentucky bourbon. They also, for some reason, included rum and brandy in this. It is 15% or 30 proof. And then the misunderstood oat nog was $25. This is from an undisclosed distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. It is oat milk plus their misunderstood ginger spiced whiskey. This one, if you have dietary restrictions, is dairy, egg, gluten, and nut free. This is 14% or 28 proof. And this is a super new brand. I haven't seen this really before, but I looked them up and they're owned by the Sazerac Beverage Company, which is a huge beverage company. So this is a bit of a wild card. So let's see if the oat nog can compare to the eggnog. Okay, so just visually, I don't know if you guys can see that well. The Evan Williams definitely looks like your typical eggnog. It's kind of got that golden creaminess to it. The oat nog, on the other hand, is definitely more brown and it's got a much more wateriness to it. I mean, that just smells like your classic traditional eggnog. It's good. I mean, you can definitely taste the whiskey there. It's got like some bite to it, but it's not that strong, and this tastes pretty similar to just your regular eggnog. It's a little bit less rich, but it's still pretty good. All right, and for the oat nog. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't smell like eggnog. I don't know if they're going for an imitation eggnog or if they're going for their own thing completely, but it's hard to place a smell of this, but it's definitely not eggnog. Like a sweet cardboard kind of smell, like wet cardboard. It's really not sweet at all. It's super peppery, which is a little off-putting. I was expecting something kind of rich. You know, the heat lingers on your tongue for some reason. It's not very strong. It's only 14%, so I'm not sure what that is about. It sounds like a lot of like almond and peanut notes in it. I'm not a big fan of that at all. All right, and finally we come to our last two whiskeys. These are both blended whiskeys from Johnnie Walker. Admittedly, they are limited edition Game of Thrones whiskeys from a couple years back, but you're definitely gonna still find these on the shelves of your liquor stores. They haven't really sold out anywhere, and they're a good winter theme, so I thought I'd include them. All right, so we have White Walker and A Song of Ice. For White Walker, I picked this up for $35. Like I said, these are both blended Scotch whiskeys from Johnnie Walker, which is owned by Diageo. I've previously done separate reviews of each of these, so if you're interested in that, I will link those down below. I wasn't very impressed by either of these when I did the review of each of them, but let's see how they stack up compared to some of these flavored whiskeys. So this one was $35 and this one was 41.7% or 83.4 proof. And A Song of Ice I picked up for $13 on sale. I think regular retail is probably about the same as this one, so $20 to $30. And this one is 40.2% or 80.4 proof. All right, starting off with the White Walker. It's a big difference from all the other bottles I've had. You can tell this is just whiskey. It's kind of got a metallic element in there, tons of vanilla. It's a little bit muted compared to the others. A lot more kick than the others, obviously. Very muted palate. It's kind of watered down. Yeah, there's not a whole lot there. It's a little bit of vanilla, maybe some grass, a little bit of honey. That's all there is to that. And now for A Song of Ice. This one seems to have like a more vanilla and caramel combination. This is much more dry, a lot less sweet than White Walker. It's a little bit easier to drink, a little less going on with that as well. All right, before I rank these from my favorite to my least favorite, I'm just gonna put up comparisons so you can see how they compare by alcohol percentage, and then here's how they compare by price as well. All right, I know that I said I was going to rank these from best to worst, It turns out I lied. I'm sorry. I'm going to be ranking these actually from worst to best. I think it makes a little more sense that way. Coming in last place was Misunderstood Oat Nog. Unfortunately, their brand name makes a lot of sense to me. I don't understand what they were going for here. To me, it misses the mark as an eggnog alternative. It's just too far from the original. As someone who loves eggnog and who drinks all types of whiskey, this really wasn't enjoyable in either category. Next was the Jack Daniel's Winter Jack Tennessee Cider. What a letdown with this one. I didn't expect very much from the Misunderstood whiskey, but I did have high hopes for this Tennessee cider. I'm not sure why they're even calling it a cider. It's more like a watered down strange apple juice. Next, we have the two Johnnie Walkers. These were both extremely similar to one another with subtle differences between the two, both underwhelming. For me, I thought that the White Walker had a slightly more metallic, unpleasant note to it, so a Song of Ice slightly edges it out as the better. Coming in third, we have Crown Royal Salted Caramel. I've had a bunch of caramel flavored whiskeys before, and I gotta say this one is pretty damn good. Very enjoyable to drink, and no complaints about this one. Coming in second, we have Evan Williams Spiced Cider. I felt like this one was the clear victor when I did the head-to-head between this and the Tennessee cider. Jack Daniel's, take note, this is how you make a cider actually taste like cider. All right, and after tasting all 7 of these, my favorite is the Evan Williams Eggnog. I have to admit, I'm a sucker for good eggnog. I thought it tasted delicious, and Evan Williams did a fantastic job. The richness is there, it's balanced well, and not to mention, it also happens to be the cheapest. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you have a fantastic holiday. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, enjoy.